Welcome to TradeNBI.com. This is John's report is for the 17th. Rate cut excitement continues to grow and build. Now the expectation continues to rise to 50 basis point. Um, just depends on how crazy you want to get things, but is there any justification for any of that? No, but they're going to do what they're going to do regardless. As you can see, plenty of short interest built into the setup, and it could be one of those where they're setting up for uh, buy the rumor and then sell the news. So we'll see how that one plays out, but most likely that's going to be the scenario with it. Um, as we pointed out before, the NQ coming up against the 61 in this previous algo level was going to be the factor as to whether it would continue to break out. The S&P actually performed a little bit better, but NASDAQ unable to make that continuation move. And as you can see, you got the rejection, though, of cyan to green, so it's a net positive overall. It's still hanging in that negative shakeout. I'm not all that confident that the Nasdaq can blow through it, even if you do get the rate cut sort of factored in. I mean, this is where the ridiculousness of bond market negative yields. It's not even worth it, but it's an indication of where things are at given the situation. And unfortunately, with oil moving back up, uh, can the Fed really do what they're talking about? Yes, it's going to ease some inflationary issues, but it would have had to stay below that 70 level for an extended period of time to have a significant impact. But they only needed to have an impact for another couple months. So that's all they're really looking at is that short term. And of course, there's a huge bonus for the euro in not having to convert to buy those expensive commodities. So that's been a nice bonus for the euro in that case. However, that would reverse rather quickly if it's not to the extent that the Europeans are hoping that the Fed will ease things off. And of course, you see gold is continuing to push towards highs, though you can see MBI white pushing ahead. The expectation would be that you get those rate cuts. There's no reason to be in gold because inflation is not a problem. But in this reality, with the deficits as they are, you're only going to see continued debasement of the currencies. So yeah, gold and commodities are still going to do well. Bitcoin suffered off that, but still, again, right at that previous algo threshold. So it's just continuing to fight that back. Strong NBI white spike though. But as long as magenta's over, it just means it's going to be muted, more sideways action. Not a surprise, given where we're at. The uncertainty within this situation and the election it poses a lot of conflicting situations, and these are those periods where you just wade through it. ETH likewise having the same concerns. When we move to our 50K, you can see just keep pushing those bounds. Actually, about to break into new highs here in the post market. That's fairly positive from a both DOC and MBI reading. Shakeout, of course, continuing. If it gets a little bit higher with that shakeout histo, then you'll be congruent with new highs built into that setup. And the excitement builds as they think the Fed is, hamstrung and will have to do it. Now, of course, that helps with deficit lowering rates, but it also means that there's going to be even greater speculation, which the market is great with because they'll just continue to ramp prices even further. You can see from an intraday, started out super positive. They tried to shake some people out with dip lower, and that got some additional put action going through there, and then they were able to just drive it up for the rest of the day. Pretty straightforward. And then in the aftermarket, you fill back in a little bit as usual, and now we're in this nice little upswing here in the European session. I think it's all fairly straightforward at this particular stage. They're just going to build up, and then there's going to be the anticipation of what the Fed actually does, and will it meet the expectations? And now it looks like the expectation is towards the 50 basis points. So anything less than that is going to be an unwelcome shock, as they would say. So just keep that one in mind. But we just continue to play the readings as they are. As always, anything relevant, I'll put on the Skype chat for you. Have a good one. Trade well.